True.
अगर आप 2000 की जीन्स खरीद सकते हो, अगर आप पिज्जा खा सकते हो 500 रुपए का, तो आप अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए भले ही 5-10 हजार महीने के निकालने हो, आप अरेंज करो. टेल योर पेरेंट्स that this is what is happening. Give me 2000 rupees to go to a counselor. Most colleges will have counselors. You have to get it professionally attested, checked, assessed. कि कोई भी रिश्ता अगर हमको स्ट्रॉन्ग करना है तो हमें उसमें कम्युनिकेशन बढ़ा देना चाहिए.
True.
क्योंकि आप देखो कभी भी अब झगड़ा होता था, हम बोलते जा मैं तेरे से बात नहीं करूंगा, यू नो. सो कम्युनिकेशन के बैरोमीटर पे अगर आप देखो और फिर स्टोरी टेलिंग देखो, तो जैसे हम छोटे होते थे तो हम घर जाके पकाते रहते थे बड़ों को. पता है आज क्या हुआ, वो शार्पनर गिर गया, फिर उसको टीचर ने डांटा, फिर वो बच्चा गिर गया, फिर मैंने ना आज ये किया था, आज मुझे उधर गया. अ चाइल्ड विल टेल द मोस्ट. हील से बॉस ये मेरी लाइफ है, आज मेरी लाइफ में यही हुआ है. It's not possible for everybody to take out 10 days where you'll have to inform the world that listen, I'm not going to be in communication at all.
True. That's right.
In fact, a lot of professionals are not able to do it because of that. People, when you become older, when you become an adult, especially after you come to college, it becomes your moral imperative, your responsibility to reparent yourself.
So, hello everyone and welcome to yet another riveting episode of the Astrix show. I'm your new host Akshat Jain and we are here to bring you groundbreaking insights and new captivating stories across the globe, all designed to supercharge your intellect and broaden your horizon. So, today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Juuhi Raai. She's a TEDx speaker, Rex Karamveer awardee, master EFT therapist, life story coach, and if that's not all, she's also an author and a WICCI CSR Council member. So, welcome Juuhi Raai to our Amchi Mumbai edition of our podcast.
Thank you.
How I am very curious about your journey and just an intro about yourself for the audience.
Okay. So, I guess you covered up most of the formal part of the introduction. So, like you said, I'm Dr. Juuhi Raai, and I come from a middle class home in Bombay, and I think my journey towards mental health has been right from the days like you're an engineer. So I was an engineer and I didn't like it at all. So I thought, what do I do? And then I did my master's in English literature, and then I did my PhD in emotional and social intelligence.
Okay, that's great.
In 2015, I started a company called the Life Workshop.
Okay.
And in the next 5 years, I traveled to conduct mental health workshops for students, engineering students, management students, anti-terrorist squads, police, merchant navy cadets, senior citizens, corporate, men and women. So, because I feel there's a huge need for mental health techniques and workshops where just the conversation around it, because I think everybody's really stressed and depressed and well dressed, and
True.
you know, so that's what I do work wise. Even the books that I write are usually around mental health.
Oh.
That's what I do. And when I'm not doing anything too serious, because whether it's therapy or anything, that's the intense side of my work. But the workshops are hyper fun, full of humor. I think if you can make somebody laugh about a very serious matter, then scientifically also, you achieve breakthroughs, mental health breakthroughs with that. So, yeah.
That's a great insight. That would be very helpful. Yeah. Yeah. So one, I would just like to know, like, how did you really felt that you are going to pursue mental health advocacy and you're going to go in this field? So what just clicked you to get into this?
I think entrepreneurs solve problems that they have.
Yeah.
That's how most startups are formed.
Yeah.
Like that's how Redbus was formed, because Funny couldn't get a ticket back home. I think my mental health startup is a product of just that. I felt majorly unheard, very confused and directionless when I was in my engineering college. I don't think the focus here should be engineering. I think it's like, now
College students.
college students or just बाय द टाइम आप होश संभालते हो ना, एक इंटेलेक्चुअल एज आ जाती है, आपको लगता है मैं कौन हूँ इस दुनिया में, मेरा क्या काम है, ऑल द फिलोसफिकल कॉन्वर्सेशंस बिगिन, एक आध हार्ट ब्रेक हो जाता है, ब्रेकअप हो जाते हैं, तो दैट ऑल्सो ग्रेविटेट्स यू टूवर्ड्स फोकसिंग ऑन यार ये दिल दिमाग का कनेक्शन. उसके पहले इट्स रियली अबाउट 10th में कितने आए, 12th में कितने आए, व्हाट एग्जाम आई एम क्रैकिंग. बट एज लाइफ कैचेज ऑन एंड द रिलेशनशिप एंगल जब आ जाता है, उसके बाद तो आई थिंक it's very much required. But mostly I feel 90% of the people that I come across, if I ask them a question, are you happy with your life?
Yeah.
Are you happy? They say no. I say, okay, are you doing जितना आपको लगता है भगवान ने आपको टैलेंट दिया, आप उसको यूज कर रहे हो? They're like, no. Mostly people are either not doing what they love or they are not able to do what they love. You know, उठ नहीं सकते, नींद नहीं आ रही है, डिसाइड करता हूँ करता नहीं हूँ, डाइट चालू करता हूँ तोड़ देता हूँ, you know, something like that. So we need to have support systems.
Yes, you're true. So like you are saying that like many people are not able to continue कि वो जो decide करते हैं वो चालू complete नहीं कर पाते and they think कि they haven't done good enough. So like from a mental health perspective, like you have done a lot of things into this कि why do you think कि that happens with people? Yeah, are people just in illusion कि they have not done enough but they don't see the good part of it mostly? So why do you think कि ऐसा मतलब general perception क्यों है?
जनरली ये आई थिंक 3-4 कारणों की वजह से होता है. सो नंबर 1 आई विल से कि जैसे हम वो सीरियल देखते थे ना, विक्रम बेताल. तो जैसे बेताल होता था, वो कहता था तू बोला मैं चला. तो हम सबका एक नेगेटिव इनर क्रिटिक रहता है. तो लेट्स से हम जैसे वेताल बैठा रहता है ना, तो हमारा भी इनर क्रिटिक बैठा रहता है. वो आपको बोलता है तुम अच्छे नहीं दिखते, तुम्हारा चेहरा खास नहीं है, तुम इंटेलिजेंट नहीं हो, तुमसे कोई प्यार नहीं करता. ऑल द नेगेटिव कॉन्वर्सेशन दैट हैपेंस इज व्हाट वेताल इज हैविंग, आवर इनर क्रिटिक इज हैविंग विद अस. नाउ लेट्स से आई स्टार्ट एनीथिंग, मैं पढ़ाई करने बैठना चाहती हूँ, या पहले ही वेताल मुझे रोक देगा, एक नेटफ्लिक्स थोड़ा देख ले, अच्छा थोड़ी देर और 5 मिनट और सो जा. या इनसाइड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप्स, लेट्स से वेयर आई हैव टू से सॉरी, आई हैव टू अपोलोजाइज, कम्युनिकेट, आई वोंट, बिकॉज वेताल से छोड़ना किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, दुनिया बहुत खराब है. सो यू नीड टू गेट इनटू अ प्रैक्टिस ऑफ लिसनिंग टू हाउ यू स्टॉप योरसेल्फ. वन. सेकंड, मोस्ट पीपल ना, हमारे मम्मी पापा सब जो कहते थे, जो पूर्वज हमारे, की संगत,
right,
you know,
the company you have is the people you are become.
So you are the average of the 5 people you hang out
the
most
with.
Yeah,
right.
And if you want to change something about your life, and especially when you said ki I want to finish something, like I start things but I don't finish them, it's because you don't have that kind of company. If you want to become a great swimmer, push yourself into a group of swimmers. If you want to start a diet, push yourself into, you need to have the power of association. We are human beings. We don't we thrive when we have a group or a community that does something. So these two things, if you can tackle, then you know it becomes easier to complete the task. बहुत बार ऐसे होता है that in fact I did this when I started the gym first time in my life. I created a WhatsApp group, and every day we would just write #1 done, #2 done, you know, after every workout. So अगर कोई छूट जाता था तो तुरंत 4 लोग पूछते थे, अरे क्या हुआ? You know, so that you need to create that kind of a system where people irritate you and ask you, hey, listen, why are you not finishing that
feedback
thing
mechanism basically.
Sure, absolutely. So
rightly said. I also feel that like this is very important ki you have some support and feedback mechanism that like helps. It has like not really done this, but like I have seen this happening in my life and that has helped me a lot. So yeah, that is right. So like if you want to give any one tip, like just a short tip for this, ki, like how people can get out of this, ki, if they are thinking that they are not well enough and they are not doing good, so what one thing they can just think of every day morning so that they can change this routine of theirs?
I think thinking is very useless.
Okay.
Okay. हम तो बल्कि आई थिंक आज के ज़माने में पीपल आर आस्किंग ओवर थिंकिंग कम कैसे करना है, थिंकिंग बढ़ाना नहीं है, कम करना है. What I genuinely, I think there are so many practices that I have come across in my life. Lots of them I have imbibed, lot of them I have taught also. One of the easiest things you can do is as soon as you get up, it's called stream of consciousness writing. As soon as you get up, आप एक पेज लो, जो कॉपी पेन, और आप जो दिमाग में आ रहा है लिखना शुरू कर दो, फिर उसको फाड़ के फेंक दो.
Okay, फाड़ के फेंक दो.
Yeah, okay. It's how you brush your teeth. You know how you relieve your stomach in the morning.
Yeah,
it's a constant. We need constant detox, whether it's the stomach, whether it's the mind. and there are so many thoughts, there's so much mental noise and clutter.
Yeah.
आप क्या मतलब मुझे like a lot of people like I cannot afford therapy, I cannot afford this and that. I'm like, can you buy a book and a pen, like a
Yeah.
5 रुपए का पेन और एक 40 रुपए की किताब आप खरीदो और कागज नहीं है तो मांग लो किसी से एंड आप लिखो और जो लिखना है लिखो उसमें. मेरा मूड खराब होता है, जो नेगेटिव लिखो, किसी से झगड़ा हो गया उस गाली बोलने से अच्छा है उधर पेपर पे लिख दो. एंड क्या आप कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते हो, खुद से क्या गिला शिकवा है वो लिख दो, क्या करना है वो लिख दो. इट डजंट मैटर वेदर इट्स पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव. Just write and then tear it and throw it. Don't even reread it.
Well, that's a pretty good solution. I will do it now.
You must try it. Yeah, it's very good.
That is basically detoxification chai, sort of on paper.
No, and there's a lot of medical research that proves that your cortisol level will go down.
Okay.
Your dopamine and serotonin in the body will increase.
Okay, right.
Yeah, your breathing will change. It is a very scientific process. It's like thermodynamics,
Okay.
Energy can either be created or destroyed. So you put all that emotion on paper and then you let go of it. And then you have space to do what you want to do.
Right. So that would be very helpful for our like viewers we are like having here.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a pretty good solution. So I would just like to mold this talk into a different perspective now. Like I've seen like a lot of Gen Zs and millennials are very, very vocal about mental health and like climate change. Those two are sort of a buzzwords now. So I've that like they are very superficial about this. Like they don't know much about it. They will just say climate change की वजह से कुछ हो रहा है. Mental health की वजह से बहुत कुछ हो रहा है.
वो तो शाहरुख भी बोलता
था. So yeah, that those things are happening, but like very few people are really deep into this. Like you are here. So why do you think, like, do you think this is really happening? Like from my perspective, is right about it, or like what are your views about this?
Yeah, it is. I mean,
you think that it is. So it's like, why do you think, like, why people are so like catchy about these topics but don't really mean those? Like, this
so
is
it's like Maslow's need of hierarchy need, right? Hierarchy
Can you just
of needs.
like tell what is that?
So बहुत simple सी बात है. I remember जब मैं विपासना करने गई थी, which is 10 days of keeping quiet, okay?
Okay.
आप उसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आप ना मन में chant कर सकते हो, ना visualize कर सकते हो. You can't even have eye contact with anybody. So it's 10 days of just मौन. आपको मौन रखना है और आपको अपनी सांस पे ध्यान देना है. That's about it. And it's very hard because you come to realize that you're very hard to live with, Okay. So I remember in that there was this lady, she said something very nice, and because I had missed मेरा एक meal का break miss हो गया था, तो मैं सो गई थी उसमें. तो मैंने खाना नहीं खाया. तो वो उसने ध्यान के बीच में से मुझे उठा के, she took me and she started talking to me, which you're not supposed to do in Vipassana,
Right.
So she's like, आपको भूख नहीं लगती है? And I'm just keeping quiet and I'm looking down because मैंने कहा eye contact भी हो गया तो मेरा टूट जाएगा फोन, So then she says, समझ नहीं आता है, खाली पेट साधना नहीं होती. And I said, सही बात है. बहुत सारे issues इसलिए आते हैं क्योंकि हमारा पेट भरा हुआ है. Okay. अगर आपकी तकलीफें ये होती कि यार बिजली के पैसे नहीं है, या I don't know where my next meal is going to come from.
Right.
I'm not denying or invalidating mental health issues, but I have worked through across demographics and across economic strata, तो कई कह सकते हैं कि डिप्रेशन अमीरों की एक बीमारी है. और ये इसके लिए भी है क्योंकि साइंटिफिकली ऐसा मुझे लगता है, because my approach to mental health is either humor or exercise. We have stopped exercising. We don't move.
Right.
तो पहले क्या होता था, जो हमारे पहले के जनरेशन्स थे, वो अगर बस लेके जा रहे हैं तो बस स्टॉप तक चल के जाएंगे, सब्जी लेके आएंगे, कपड़े खुद धोएंगे, खाना खुद बनाएंगे. आई एम श्योर आपको याद होगा कि आपके घर में कभी ना कभी आपने देखा होगा कि कोई दाल बीन रहा है, आटा गूंद रहा है या समथिंग, you've seen them do the work. Right. It's become so convenient for us. Everything is on the app.
Yeah. People have stopped working.
So we
basically,
don't walk.
They do just one work.
It's not work. It's be physical movement. I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about physical movement. I'm talking about that walk, that picking up. My mother always says कि नहीं आप सब्जी मत मंगाओ. And I have this habit. She'll say you go down and buy because you're going to see the colors. You're going to pick it up. You're going to have some conversation with somebody. We have isolated ourselves. और वो पूरे टाइम स्क्रीन के सामने रहना. So number one, I think if whoever is listening to this, if you are not going to exercise, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're not exercising every day, you're bound to be depressed and anxious. Number one. Number two, if you are anxious or depressed, or you're going through some lot of stress in your life, just start exercising. The brain is, the limbic brain has hippocampus, and one of the easiest ways to calm and scientifically, like, when you're very stressed, your brain shrinks. So if you've gone through trauma, your brain shrinks. If you want to come back, or you want to revive your brain, all you have to do, the simplest thing you can do is go for a 45-minute walk every day. That's it. Okay. No gym membership, no Zumba, no yoga, nothing. Just go for a walk.
Okay. That's good.
And you can just revive your hippocampus.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love your explanation. Like, those are just like scientific backing also, and like those are very simple straight solutions. Like, you gave a paper solution, just write one page, and like 45 minutes. I just love those ideas. Like, those are the ideas like anyone can do. Like, anyone seeing this podcast can do those things. So that's really helpful for those people who cannot like afford these things. And mostly people just say that mental health wellness is only possible for the like you said, amiro ke liye hai. Like, not like the people who are in middle class normally just say that we are always miserable. The middle class people always say we are always miserable, and something like those things. So,
no. See, there is a very high. A lot of things have changed. There's a nutritional angle to it. हम जो खाना खाते हैं, that is also not very good for mental health.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
जो हमारा physical एक जो movement कम हो गया है वो.
True.
फिर social media is a huge. आपको डिप्रेस होना है, इंस्टाग्राम खोल के बैठ जाओ. Because पहले क्या होता था, I know there are these funny handles called शर्मा जी का बेटा and all of that, right?
Yeah.
And earlier क्या होता था कि जब सोशल मीडिया नहीं था, तो आपको कंपेयर किससे करते थे? आपके कजिन से, नेबर के बच्चे से, और कौन करता था? सिर्फ आपके पेरेंट्स या कोई कजिन्स बोल देंगे या फ्रेंड्स बोल देंगे.
Immediate people.
Now you're comparing yourself to the whole world.
Right.
You're comparing yourself to the best racer, to the person with the best body, to the person who's vacationing on a yacht, to a person who's modeling, to a person who's doing scientific research. हम इतना कुछ देख रहे होते हैं कि हमको लगता है, अरे यार ये तो ये कर रहा है, मैं ये नहीं कर रहा, ये तो वो कर रहा है.
True.
So we need to detox the social media bit also.
Yeah, that's a perspective. Like, yeah, that's really true. Like, Instagram has opened a bar, set a bar for everything. Like, every person has done something, and everyone just compares from the best of the people. No one just compares from their family members or something nowadays. They are just gone to like, we will just compare to like
correct
the
औकात होनी चाहिए भाई. हम ऐसे थोड़ी किसी से भी कंपेयर नहीं करेंगे हम तो.
And also everyone wants to do everything nowadays. Like, it's not just like I want to do one thing at a time. I want to get thinner. I want to also do best at my work.
Yes.
I also want to do yoga. I also want to take sessions for the underprivileged.
And see the best girls or boys or whoever you want. Dating has to be the best. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
So people are just like, I guess, very, very greedy nowadays for everything. They just want that they should have everything in themselves. And they should be best of the personalities, which is not really possible. Like, what I really feel. Like, people are who are vocal about it might be doing some part of it, but not very good extent to everything they can do, right?
You're right, partly, I think.
Okay. Why do you think so?
I think so because context, हम कहते हैं ना संदर्भ, right? Context decides everything. For example, suppose मैं अगर खुद को इंस्टाग्राम पे देख के जलन के मारे, डिप्रेशन के मारे, फिर मैं पतला होने के लिए आई एम डेवलपिंग बॉडी लाइक image issues and I'm throwing up food, I'm going into a eating disorder, or I'll tell you personally, मैं अपनी बात करूँगी, I wouldn't generalize, I love to be in shape. And मैं आज तक किसी इंसान से नहीं मिली जो बोलेगा नहीं यार मुझे तो 25-30 किलो ओवरवेट होना अच्छा लगता है, मेरी पर्सनल चॉइस है. यार एक बात बोल रही हूँ, सबको जंक फूड अच्छा लगता है, सबको फ्रेंच फ्राइज पसंद है. It is not easy, but the thing what we have forgotten, I feel, about being human is, and Sadhguru says this, it's not about being superhuman. It's about realizing that being human is super, and it's about saying कि यार I just feel really good when I exercise. I just feel really good. अगर आप कई लोग होते हैं ना, बोलते हैं अरे यार मेरी तो जान निकलती है, मुझे जिम जाना पसंद नहीं है, then it's not your calling. Leave it.
Yeah.
Then maybe sports is your calling. Go play.
True.
बचपन में तो हमें किसी ने नहीं बोला, हम तो घर ही नहीं आते थे.
Yeah. Right.
बल्कि पेरेंट्स को बोलना पड़ता है ना, बैठो पढ़ो, घर से बाहर मत जाओ. अब हमने खुद को पनिश करना शुरू कर दिया है. हम जो पहले हमें अलाउड नहीं था वो हम नहीं कर रहे खुद. सो आई फील व्हेन यू से मुझे सब कुछ चाहिए, it's the ambition is not the problem.
Right.
The problem is that if I'm coming from a space that I'm not good enough, vis-a-vis I'm nice, let's see what else is possible.
Right. Yeah.
और करके देखते हैं. और a lot of people who have great boards, अभी मैं उस दिन वो देख रही थी, India's Got Talent या something.
Okay.
तो उसमें एक वो हरियाणा के एक जेंटलमैन आए, so thin. He picked up, he broke a Guinness Book record, like 50 kg से picked up, मुंह से, sorry, 100 kg or something like that.
Okay.
अब आप उसको देखोगे ना, कभी आपको लाइफ में कहीं मिल जाए, तो आप कभी देख के नहीं बोलोगे कि क्या स्टड बंदा है, क्या दिखता है. पर कितनी ताकत है उसमें. I'm sure he's very content with himself.
True.
And he's like, मुझे योगा का प्रचार करना है. Like the max strength is coming from like yoga or whatever. So you have to figure out what you like doing. Yeah, and I feel because I've worked with thousands of people.
Right.
There people, when you become older, when you become an adult, especially after you come to college, it becomes your moral imperative, your responsibility to reparent yourself.
Okay.
कि जो बचपन में आपके कई लोग होते हैं जो ट्रॉमेटिक फैमिलीज से आ रहे हैं, उनका चाइल्डहुड बराबर नहीं था, या देयर वाज समथिंग अनहेल्दी. So you need to correct that, one. And two, you need to find what you love to do. That's something that will last for very long. I've seen very successful people commit suicide.
Right.
So it really is about finding what you love to do. 1-2 घंटे तो इंसान को दिन में वो करना ही चाहिए.
Right.
फिर ये सब निकल जाती हैं बातें, मेंटल हेल्थ, इमोशनल हेल्थ, और
Right. That's such true. Very correctly said about that. So one thing I just curious about, like you talked about this, like you talked about Vipassana. So can you just like tell the viewers or like what really Vipassana is, and just like generally your experience, what it is?
My experience was very nice. It was very challenging, but honestly, I don't think I'm an expert to talk about Vipassana.
So what is it
but
really?
What Vipassana is एक 10 दिन का कोर्स होता है.
Okay.
उसमें आपको जाके आप एक भी शब्द नहीं बोल सकते 10 दिन.
Okay.
आप किसी की आंखों में नहीं देख सकते. आप किसी से बात नहीं करते. आपको एक आइसोलेटेड रूम दिया जाता है 10 दिन रहने के लिए.
Okay.
So it's challenging. It's beautiful, but there are a lot of other, like there are a lot of practices.
Okay.
I think Vipassana is a very tough one.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of times, my friends also do this. They say, हम एक रिट्रीट में चले जाते हैं, वहाँ हमारा वेट लॉस हो जाएगा, वहाँ हम वापस होके आएंगे, ऐसे बन के आएंगे. तो मुझे लगता है जो आप जहाँ रहते हो, भले ही आपका छोटा सा कमरा हो, बहुत बड़ा कमरा हो, आप छोटे शहर में रहते हो, बड़े शहर में रहते हो, it doesn't matter where you are. If where you are you can blossom,
right,
then it's cool. आप अपने कमरे में क्या कर सकते हो वो देखो. आप पेपर लिख के जला सकते हो, या जला नहीं सकते फेंक सकते हो फाड़ के, वो करो. आप वॉक के लिए जा सकते हो, वो करो. And I feel आज YouTube के टाइम पे, I mean, I'm telling you, you can just tune in and put on a guided meditation. You can put on some yoga, and do some breathing exercise. It's not possible for everybody to take out 10 days where you'll have to inform the world that, listen, I'm not going to be in communication at all.
True. That's right.
In fact, a lot of professionals are not able to do it because of that.
True.
It's very hard to take out 10
So
days.
where do you exactly do this? Like here?
There are many centers.
Okay.
You can Google it, but there's popular ones are in Borivali. There's Pagoda, which you have a waiting list for like 3 to 6 months or something, I hear, because it's one of the finest places to do it, even energy-wise. Igatpuri, Nagpur. It's happening all over the country. I know these because they're in Maharashtra.
Okay. That's nice. Not really know about this, but I will check about this.
Oh, you must.
Yeah.
And you must try it out also and let us know afterwards. Maybe you could share your experience.
Yeah, sure. I would definitely like to try it. Like, let's see how it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
So, what I like searched about you was like, I know that you are a master EFT therapist. So, like, you just want to tell the listeners what it is about and like what really you do in that, if you want to.
It is the most amazing discovery of my life.
Okay.
तो कहते हैं ना, lot of people say, अरे how did you find it? I said मैं खुद को ठीक करने निकली थी. And no intention of becoming a therapist or anything. Honestly. If someone would have told me like, a few years back, see, because I'm perpetually on the stage, I'm anchoring big events or I'm doing motivational speaking and all of that. But anything as isolated as writing or therapy, I would have laughed. But you know how I came across EFT is because I had some pains in my body and they were just not getting diagnosed by, allopathy or any other schools of thought. And so I'll tell you what EFT is, and I'm very happy to talk about it. Because I feel, and my Instagram handle is at Dr. Juuhi Raai. I hope it comes on the screen. Whoever's editing it, please put it, because put it I want to give out a lot of free workshops for EFT. Okay, now what is EFT? So these American veterans who would come back from the war. Yeah. They used to be so badly affected by it. क्योंकि उनको एक्सट्रीम पीटीएसडी होता था. पीटीएसडी यानी पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक स्ट्रेस डिसऑर्डर, यानी जो आपके साथ हादसा है वो हो चुका है, पर उसके बाद सालों तक आपकी बॉडी में वो ट्रॉमा रजिस्टर्ड रहता है. And this trauma, the body remembers. There are books written about it. There are great PhDs and researchers who have written about this, that the trauma is stored in your body and it's all a chemical locha, to be honest. Okay, and we all have a reptilian brain. So like for example, first there were reptiles, and if you try to pet a snake, कितना प्यारा सांप है, अच्छा कितना सुंदर सांप है, वो आपको डसेगा ही, because a reptile cannot distinguish between good touch, bad touch. Right. But a mammal can, because it has a mammalian brain. Yeah. So a dog or a cat can. Okay. It will not attack you, but a reptile will attack you if you try to touch it. Okay. So we all have a reptilian brain, and then we have a prefrontal cortex, which is where the idea, language, all of that is coming from. So that's where the final evolution, right? Human beings have it. So let's say you are having public speaking ka fear. You fear dancing in front of people. या आपको कोई तेज बात कर ले तो डर लगता है, या आपको कन्फ्रंटेशन से डर लगता है. डर जहां भी आता है, टेंशन जहां भी आता है, फ्लाइट, फ्राइट, फाइट रिस्पॉन्सेज जो होते हैं इंसान के, वो सारे आपके रेप्टिलियन ब्रेन से आते हैं. So EFT was invented, discovered, worked on, researched for solving PTSD of these soldiers who were returning, क्योंकि वो समाज में वापस आ ही नहीं पा रहे थे, वो अपनी फैमिलीज के साथ घुल मिल नहीं पा रहे थे. But as we started applying EFT to depression, sexual abuse, any kind of abuse, diseases, mental or physical, pains, decade-long aches, वो सब जाने लगा, because the body stopped, the reptilian brain stopped signaling the body to go into flight response. What if you can switch that off? जैसे यहाँ पे switch है ना लाइट का, अगर आप इसे बंद कर पाओ तो EFT वो possible करता है. एक दूसरा, if there are 16 sessions of talk therapy, cognitive behavior therapy required, then you just need 3. So it's super fast. It can be self-administered. A lot of free EFT videos are there on YouTube also. Of course, there's nothing like it if you have a great practitioner to do some sessions with. But it is phenomenal. And the best part is, I don't know of a better therapy for intelligent people. Okay. Because intelligent इंसान का सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन वो खुद होता है. तो वो उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा होता है. Well said, right? Yeah. So what does EFT stand for? EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Okay. And it's called emotional acupuncture. Okay. So सुई नहीं डालना पड़ेगा आपको. Acupuncture is like that because there are meridian points. Okay. And basically there are these meridian points that you tap. You tap them and then you say these words, which are commands really. It's a syntax. Okay. Yeah. And it's very interesting because it's like you can reprogram your mind completely. So a lot of famous people use it, athletes use it. Okay, that's fascinating. Yeah. And it's very big in America. पर हम जैसे 10 साल 15 साल पीछे चलते ही हैं अमेरिका से, तो so we are catching up. Yeah. Right. So, yeah. So one of the questions I had in my mind, what are as a life coach, you are a life coach. So what really happens in those mentoring sessions, and what do you see? How do you see
I'm quite sure that like a lot of storytelling would be involved in those sessions, I guess. So how do you think like storytelling is a tool? How great of a tool it is for these sessions, and how does it really impact people?
It's the best tool because we have grown up on stories.
Yeah,
we
true.
love stories.
That's
Human beings are stories. We are perpetually telling stories or listening to stories. All our philosophies are stories. Okay, when you get into spiritual work or inner work of any kind, they will tell you, well, whatever you're telling yourself is a story. It's not the truth. You know, that's why we say it's Mo Maya. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm the creator. I'm going to create anything. So stories are the most powerful tools. One.
Okay.
And I used to do theater. So thankfully, I've learned from a very dear friend called Dr. Zahir Sheikh and Ashok Kumarji's daughter, who's no more, the late Bharti Jaffrey ma'am. So they taught me theater. And so there's a lot of theatrics involved in motivational speaking. It's really like a performance, to be honest, many times. Because अगर आपने मूवी तमाशा देखी होगी जो बहुत कथाटिक है और तो उसमें जब वो बातें कर रहा है वो उसके दिल से निकल रही है कि कौन है तू, क्या चाहता है, क्या है तेरे मन में. सो यही चीजें हम करते हैं और इन चीजों की जरूरत है. तो मैं कॉलेजेस में जा के यही करती हूँ. इकट्ठे 100-90 बच्चे होते हैं एक टाइम पे. And we do a lot of theatrics and we do a lot of dancing, jumping, crying, laughing, everything. Because अगर हम साइकिल को सर्विस करा सकते हैं, गाड़ी सर्विस करा सकते हैं, तो हम खुद की सर्विसिंग क्यों नहीं कराते? True. हमें भी चाहिए होता है वो. So storytelling is a very powerful tool, and I use it a lot. Okay. I don't use it in my personal sessions. Like therapy sessions are all EFT. Okay, yeah. There I listen to the story. Okay. And then remove the story. Okay. Surgically or whatever. But I think my entire life, wherever I have also been down, I have gone back to stories. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, stories are powerful. Nice. So do you feel like storytelling is an art that like everyone should know of? Like everyone should learn of this skill. Like this skill is very important. I feel like in every sphere of life, it can heal you. It can also help you work, and it can let you do leadership. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very important for that. Yeah. So how do you really think? Like a lot of one-liner tips you have given. Like what is the Juuhi way of doing storytelling, learning storytelling for people who are not very confident about it? Okay, good question. Learning, I think before you tell a story, you have to learn to listen to a story. True. I think listening precedes telling always. Yeah. क्योंकि अगर हम सुन सकते हैं ना, हम उस बात के रस को पकड़ लेते हैं, हम उस बात की उसके उसके क्रक्स को पकड़ लेते हैं, right? And हम सब story tellers हैं. I'll tell you what I feel, and I often mention this in the life workshop. And this is usually with the 18-19-year-olds who have stopped talking to their parents. Okay. Right? क्योंकि parents और teachers से कौन बात करता है, मतलब it's like so boring. You'll talk to your peers or whatever. So I tell them कि अब आप देखो कि let's say we took storytelling inside the context of communication. कि कोई भी रिश्ता अगर हमको strong करना है, तो हमें उसमें communication बढ़ा देना चाहिए. True. क्योंकि आप देखो कभी भी अब झगड़ा होता था, हम बोलते जा मैं तेरे से बात नहीं करूंगा. So communication के barometer पे अगर आप देखो और फिर storytelling देखो, तो जैसे हम छोटे होते थे तो हम घर जाके पकाते रहते थे बड़ों को. पता है आज क्या हुआ, वो शार्पनर गिर गया, फिर उसको टीचर ने डांटा, फिर वो बच्चा गिर गया, फिर मैंने ना आज ये किया था, आज मुझे उधर गया. A child will tell the most. He'll say बॉस ये मेरी लाइफ है, आज मेरी लाइफ में यही हुआ है. उधर गिर गया, उधर ये हो गया, पता है आज क्या हुआ, अच्छा मुझे एक जोक पता है, मैं आपको सुना. वो आपको इन्वॉल्व करके रखेंगे बच्चे, वो आपको बताएंगे, लिसन दिस इज व्हाट इज अप विथ मी, टुडे दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड. एंड बड़े भी लगे क्या पका रहा है, क्या बात कर रहा है. हमें अच्छी लगती है उनकी बातें, मोहक लगती हैं, बट a kid is actually really communicating and sharing everything with you in the form of a story. What I feel about this is सबके पास स्किल होती है स्टोरी टेलिंग की. दे हैव अ इनबॉर्न स्किल ऑफ टेलिंग एवरीथिंग दे हैव ऑफ, बट लाइक धीरे धीरे वी जस्ट लूज दैट एबिलिटी ऑफ टेलिंग पीपल एवरीथिंग. Absolutely. कि we are not very open, we get closer and closer to ourselves, and कि I cannot tell this to anybody else. We just get privacy. So and we stop like हम अब एक तो ये सारे भी डिटेल्स आ जाती है ना, बड़े होते होते हम बड़े स्मार्ट हो जाते हैं और ओवर शेयरिंग तो नहीं कर रहे, वो बेताल वापस चालू हो जाता है, इतना मत बता, डोंट ट्रस्ट, you're telling too much. Yes, exactly. So to increase storytelling और communication, दोनों अगर इन बातों को मिलाया जाए तो is let's learn to talk in detail and finer details. And, storytelling is very powerful and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I feel it's a very good way to track your own confidence levels also.
Okay.
And there are many ways to do it. I mean, there were these Toastmaster clubs and all earlier.
Yeah.
Speaking clubs.
Okay.
But
can you just
Toastmasters, like they are a global community of public speaking.
Okay.
So you can write to them and they will help you form a club in your college. And they are one of the largest in the world.
Okay.
Toastmasters, yes. TOAST, तो आप डाल सकते हो उसमें masters.
Sure.
Toastmasters. So they are the largest community in the world for public speaking, because public speaking is the biggest fear after death.
True,
it's the second biggest fear in the world.
Okay.
So
after death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, death, and that too, fear of spiders, to be precise.
Okay.
Like, but yeah, public speaking is this thing, and I think another way I feel is because I'm trying to do that is to put yourself out there on Instagram, or now that we are in a world that is very social media based, so to say, then if you have that wish, then go tell your stories. There's another community you can attend, these spoken fests, etc. Called Commune. Roshan Abbas has started it.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah, right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
And for those who want to work on confidence and public speaking, storytelling, conversation of any kind, talking of any kind, communication of any kind, learn to stand in front of the mirror and look into your own eyes every day for 5 minutes. It is such an intense process. It is again free of cost.
Yeah.
But जिस दिन आप ये करोगे, पहले तो लोगों के आंसू झड़ने लगेंगे, कोई शिवर करने लगेगा, कोई जोर जोर से हंसने लगेगा, बट मोस्टली आप देख ही नहीं पाओगे खुद की आंखों के अंदर. It is a very hard thing to do. But whatever you practice, whatever you speak to the mirror. You know, आप movies में भी देखोगे वो practice करते हैं ना, दिखाते हैं वो. So it's a very powerful thing to do. I just did it this morning. After very long I got back to it. So I was listening to this thing, and she said, just that video, it was a guided meditation, and she said, can you stand in front of a mirror right now and do it? So I went in front of the mirror and I did it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's an ongoing, and all these practices, I feel everybody should know that exercise होने दो, या जैसे नहाने जैसा होता है. आप ऐसा नहीं है कि बचपन में मैं नहाता था, मैंने नहाना छोड़ दिया. So ऐसे नहीं होता. It's something you have to do daily. Motivation is a daily thing.
Yes.
Twice a day at least. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we got a solution out of this also, like a mirror solution.
The mirror solution.
Yeah. Okay. So like we would go to our sort of a last segment, that like we are more of a student centric people. So I'm very like concerned about the students nowadays. Like students are very, very prone to this mental health, and I've just heard people, like, I don't know how those people are getting, like 9-10 students, they are saying I'm very, very depressed and all those stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel that they have not had enough of those things, but just they have heard of these buzzwords, and even though they are not very depressed, they are literally just telling themselves that they are depressed and giving negative vibes to themselves and turning themselves more into that side. Like, what are your what can you tell them so that they get out of this, like the students out there?
Firstly, I would really tell anybody who feels that they're depressed to get professional help.
Okay.
I don't believe that we should use these terms loosely, like you said.
Yeah. Right.
You use the word buzzword. तो कई बार ऐसे होता है कि हमने सुन लिया, हमको लगता है शायद मुझे भी ये होगा.
True.
तो बेस्ट ये होगा कि अगर आप 1,00,000, 1.5 लाख, 2 लाख साल के पढ़ाई पे लगा सकते हो, अगर आप 2,000 की जीन्स खरीद सकते हो, अगर आप पिज्जा खा सकते हो 500 रुपए का, तो आप अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए भले ही 5-10 हजार महीने के निकालने हो, आप अरेंज करो. टेल योर पेरेंट्स that this is what is happening. Give me 2,000 rupees to go to a counselor. Most colleges will have counselors. You have to get it professionally attested, checked, assessed. Okay? सेल्फ डायग्नोसिस करके आज मैं अगर खुद को बोल दूं कि ये है वो है, हाँ मुझे ये फील हो रहा है, मुझे कॉन्स्टेंटली ये लग रहा है, आप अपनी फीलिंग्स के बारे में बात करो. पर एंड दूसरा, मुझे लगता है ये मेरे को भी खुद के बारे में भी सुधारने में थोड़ा टाइम लगा, क्योंकि या तो मैं खुद के लिए बहुत केयरलेसली बोल लेती थी, या मैं किसी और के बारे में भी केयरलेसली बोल लेती थी. OCD, पागल, मेंटल, रिटार्ड, वर्ड्स दैट वी यूज वेरी लाइटली. You know, and now with the advent of more conversation of identity, sexuality, we should be mindful and kind towards you know, ये भी सोचना कि अरे ये बकवास कर रहा है, because believe me, number of times when post suicide of a successful person, you know, आप उनके फ्रेंड से पूछोगे तो वो बोलेंगे यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा कर रहा था लाइफ में, यार ये तो बहुत खुश रहती थी, तो हमें नहीं मालूम, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. Go to a professional, get it solved. And सबसे मुझे easy, and this would, I would feel this is, if I had to just crux ये पूरे इसका मुझे एक पॉइंट में बोलना होता, तो मैं ये कहती कि आप अपने मेंटल हेल्थ को एग्जैक्टली अपनी फिजिकल हेल्थ की तरह ट्रीट करो. अगर आपको बुखार है, आप शर्माओगे नहीं कि अरे यार मैं कैसे बताऊं मुझे बुखार है, you know. अगर फ्रैक्चर है तो आपको बुरा लगेगा क्या? Is it a taboo to put a plaster around your hand?
Right.
Or a collar around your neck, or a band-aid?
True.
Is it, will you think 5 times before calling your father and saying, listen, I fell from here, I slipped from here, ऑर्थोपेडिक को 2000 रुपए देने हैं? आप सोचोगे ही नहीं. पर मेंटल हेल्थ में आप पहले तो खुद को ही बर्बाद कर दोगे अंदर कि नहीं बताना नहीं है, आप पैसे नहीं लोगे. फिर ये भी हमारी मेंटालिटी है, you know, कि मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए पैसे क्यों खर्च करने हैं.
True. That is one of the stopping point of a lot of things.
So if you can spend $2,000 for an ECG or a,
true,
you know, just treat it the same way. It's help.
Yes.
You know, and I think lockdown के time पे ये हो रहा था that the insurance companies are talking about, you know, getting even the mental health into insurance policies. I don't know how much of it has been implemented.
Yes. True. So yeah, I that's exactly right. Like mental health should be treated as a part of your normal health. Like you allocate budget for your health budgets, and like this is also a part of it, I guess.
Absolutely.
True. So what do you feel like, just like I said, it's not really buzzword, but like people sometimes wrongly associate themselves. They are just sad about something and they just go in a wrong lane, that they are depressed or something. Just like, how do they really know they are really depressed, or they are just they need to just be happy about some things? They are just getting into the wrong path by mistake, because not really knowing what depression is or something like that. So
पहली बात तो इंसान बहुत खुश रह के भी डिप्रेस रह सकता है. It's like ये बहुत हमारी मिसकंसेप्शन है कि डिप्रेशन लुक्स लाइक दिस. You know what I'm saying? डिप्रेशन, आप आंख बंद करके सोचो, विजुलाइज करके, तो आपको क्या दिख रहा है? तो you're probably seeing somebody जो नहाया नहीं है 15 दिन से, और टिश्यू पड़े हुए हैं, घर बहुत गंदा है, ये वो. What I can do, like what I personally see, suppose whoever's listening to this and they feel कि यार I am depressed or I'm not, whatever, firstly go somewhere and get it checked. Seek a professional. I have given you my Instagram thing. DM me, figure out, do the research. अगर आप friends को phone करके बोल सकते हो, listen, do you know a specialist, heart specialist, lung specialist, whatever, तो आप इसके लिए क्यों नहीं find out कर रहे हो?
True.
एक. दूसरा, खुद को आप diagnose मत करो. तीसरा, एक checklist रखो. Am I exercising every day? I'll give you a proper example. If you go to a psychologist, a CBT therapist, which is cognitive behavior therapy, they will check you. They will ask you, they will administer questionnaires on you, and they will ask you. And if you are exercising, there have been cases where, let's say, अगर आपने वो score भरा अपना, कि उसमें question लिखें कि आपको क्या करने का मन करता है, कितना, to figure out what your mental health is like.
Right.
If you are exercising, your score will be less.
Okay.
Far away from being suicidal.
Okay, that's good.
You understanding? तो आप, you know, recently I was doing this study and it said that if you can take a cold shower मतलब आप बाल्टी में डाल दो 2-3 पूरे ट्रेस बर्फ के डाल दो.
Okay. अच्छा.
And you take a bath with that.
अच्छा.
When you expose your body to extreme cold showers, the dopamine level goes as high as it would go when you take a shot of cocaine. Can you imagine? So while we are going to substance abuse or some sort of abuse that we are putting ourselves through to feel happy, to get a dopamine hit.
Right.
पर वो ही होता है जब आप एक्सरसाइज करो, जब आप 4 गाने लगा के नाचो. अभी गणपति आने वाला है. आई एम टेलिंग यू, एवरी टाइम यू गेट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू डांस. दिख रहे ना वो ढोल वाले, हम मुंह बना देंगे, अरे यार ट्रैफिक रोक दिया, निकलो रिक्शा से, उनके साथ डांस कर लो 2 मिनट. So I'm just saying that steal moments and ways and incorporate them in your life, where you can keep these hormones in check, डोपामिन सेरोटोनिन आप अपने चेक में रख सको. और बहुत सिंपल तरीके हैं कि आप फिजिकली मूवमेंट रहो, एजाइल रहो. अगर अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो बात करो. Don't try to self-diagnose.
Okay.
And it's a very good point that you have. Because I have come across a lot of times where people have used it like a trump card also.
Yeah.
कि यार, you know.
Yeah.
So, अगर कोई वैसा कर रहा है तो अपन कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
Right. That's
But
true.
If somebody is suffering silently, we should not be a culture or a society that should be okay with that.
True. That is very true. So yeah, I guess that is. We got a lot of information insight about mental health, and like summing it up all up, like I feel we can just give it in this way that we should not really care much about the people when we are doing something for ourselves, and also on the same side we should care about the mental health of other people. We should not just disturb them कि अरे तो ये नहीं कर पा रहा, or something like that. Or even if they are not being able to do something, we should be supportive of them. Like support system is a very important thing. So how it cannot be a one person thing. You have to be 2 person. So yeah, we got a lot of things learned from this part of podcast. We will see you in the next segment of ours. We will have a rapid fire about mental health in the next segment.
Sounds good.
So summing it all up, like last 3 points we got, the three Ruhi tips is like if you have any paper, like any problems, write it down on a page on every morning, and sum it all up in paper and just throw it away. And the second one is like go for a 45 minutes walk. That would really help. And the third one, I guess, for the people who want to get into storytelling, and I guess everyone wants to get into that. Everyone wants to be vocal about what they feel. So do a mirror technique thing, and that would really help you out. So okay, let's see you in the rapid fire round.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So what do you feel the biggest mental health myth?
That it's a drama. Burnout is not a good idea.
True.
Because it will take a toll in your health later. So when you're trying to save, like say 15 days or 2 years, and then you're going behind by 5 years because it backfires.
Definitely.